Hello Primary 2. In today's lesson we are going to talk about the food groups. What are the food groups? We all eat every day different kinds of food. But have you ever thought what are the kinds of food you are eating? Or what are their food groups? Today we are going to learn about the different food groups that we eat in our meals. But first, let's learn about something called the food pyramid. As you can see, the food pyramid is a pyramid which classifies the different kinds of food that we eat into four main groups. Those groups are carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals, proteins, and fats. Okay, now let's see what is meant by each of these food groups. At the bottom of the pyramid, there is the carbohydrates group, and it includes different kinds of food like the bread, the rice, the pasta, the cereals, and others. And then comes another important food group, which is the vitamins and the minerals. We can find vitamins and minerals in fruits and vegetables that we eat. Then comes a very important food group, which is proteins. We get proteins by eating the meat or fish or chicken. And also the proteins are found in dairy products. Dairy products means the products that are made of, like the cheese and the yogurt. Then at the top of the pyramid, we can find the fats group. Okay, so all of these food groups are very important for your body and for your health. Let's know what is the function or what is the importance of each of these food groups. Let's start by the first group, which is the carbohydrates. As we said, the carbohydrates are found in some kinds of food like the rice, the pasta, potatoes, bread, and cereals. Why are carbohydrates important? Because they supply our bodies with energy. Carbohydrates are the main source of energy for the body. So, why do we have to eat carbohydrates in our meals? To give us the energy that we need to do all our daily activities like running, playing, and even studying. And what happens if we did not get carbohydrates in our meals? As we said, the carbohydrates are important for getting the energy. So, if you are not having carbohydrates in your diet, you will feel so weak or dizzy. You will be having a low amount of energy, so you will not be able to do your work properly. Okay, so in your breakfast, make sure that you are eating bread because it contains carbohydrates, and also in the lunch you can get carbohydrates by eating either rice or pasta. The second food group is the proteins. The proteins is very important as well for your body because it helps us to grow and build our muscles. How can we find proteins? What are the kinds of food that contains proteins? Proteins can be found in the fish, the meat, the chicken, and the dairy products. Again, the dairy products like the milk, the cheese, and the yogurt. The proteins are important for the growth of the body and building our muscles and help us to be strong. Okay, again, how can we get the proteins? Proteins are found in the meat, the fish, and the chicken. And also the proteins are found in the dairy products like the milk, the cheese, and the yogurt. As you can see, all these kinds of food comes from animals. So all the food that comes from animals contain proteins. But do you know that some plants contain proteins? Like the nuts. The nuts are comes from plant sources and they are rich in proteins. Okay, so you have to eat proteins in your meal. Or what happens if you didn't eat enough protein? You will suffer from problems in your growth. And again, the dairy products are very important because they contain proteins and also they contain calcium. Calcium is important for your bones and teeth and makes them strong. If you did not eat proteins and calcium in the dairy products, you will suffer from problems or weakness in your bones and problems in your teeth like cavities in those pictures. Okay, now let's move to the third food group, which is the vitamins and minerals. As we said, the vitamins and minerals are found in large amounts in the fruits and vegetables. Why are vitamins and minerals important for the body? Because they help us to fight diseases. They make our body strong and protected from being infected with diseases. So if you eat good amount of fruits and vegetables, you will be strong and you will stay in a good health. But if you did not eat fruits or vegetables in your meals, you will not be in a healthy condition and you will be sick and ill. Now the last food group, which is the fats. The fats are found in the butter and the oil. You have to know that there are two types of fats, good fats and bad fats. The good fats are important because they also give us energy. But some food contains bad fats, like the sweets and the candies. As you can see, they are unhealthy food. They cause gaining weight, as in the picture, and they cause some diseases in the heart. Now, after we talked about the 4 food groups, don't forget that you have to drink enough amount of water every day. Water is very important for all your body parts. So, you understand now that eating healthy food, which is found in the different food groups we studied, is very important for keeping you healthy and making you strong so you would be able to do all your activities in a good and healthy way. So now if we need to have a meal, what should we eat in the meal so we can get a good health? You have to eat the 4 food groups in your diet. Okay, so for example, look at this picture. Your balanced diet means it contains the 4 food groups in right amounts. Is that a balanced diet? Let's see. We have to find the 4 food groups. Here we have bread, and bread contains carbohydrates. We have eggs and cheese, which are rich in proteins. And we have pepper. Pepper is a vegetable, so it contains vitamins and minerals. And finally, the butter contains fats. So here we have the 4 food groups. This is called a balanced diet. Again, a balanced diet means a meal that contains the 4 food groups that we studied, which are carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins and minerals, and the fats. Okay, now look at this picture and think, is that a balanced meal? And why? We said that a balanced meal should contain the 4 food groups. Let's see. Here we have an apple. The apple is a fruit, so it contains vitamins and minerals. And the meat. The meat is rich in proteins. So we have now carbohydrates and proteins. What about the pasta? The pasta contains carbohydrates, and here we have oil. The oil contains fats. So now we have the 4 different food groups in this meal. So this meal can be called a balanced meal or a balanced diet. Look at this picture now. Think, What is missing in this meal so it would be a balanced meal? Here we have milk and egg, and we said that the milk and egg contains what? Proteins. And we have bread. The bread is rich in carbohydrates. And this is butter. The butter contains which food group? Fats. Very good. So what is missing here? Vitamins and minerals. So how can we get vitamins and minerals? What food should we add to this meal? Yes, if you added a fruit or a vegetable, like for example a tomato or grapes, now you are having a balanced meal because you have the 4 food groups in your diet. Let's take an exercise. Look at those pictures and decide they belong to which food groups. In the first picture here we have dairy products like milk and cheese. We have a plate containing fish and meat. All of these kinds of food contains what? Contains proteins. Very good. The second picture we have bread and pasta and some rice and cereals. And all of these food contains carbohydrates. Excellent. The last one we have some fruits and vegetables, and as we said, the fruits and vegetables are very rich in vitamins and minerals. Okay? Are you ready for some other questions? Let's see. Now I want you to look at those pictures and again try to mention which food group do they belong to. In the first picture we have potatoes, some bread, rice and pasta. So what is the food group of this picture? It's carbohydrates. The second picture we have many fruits and vegetables. The fruits and vegetables contains what food group? The vitamins and minerals. Very good. Now here we have dairy products and we have cheese, we have eggs, we have chicken, fish and meat. All of them contains proteins. In the last picture we have oil, we have a piece of cake, we have candies, and all of these food contains fats. Okay, another example. Look at the picture and try to say what food group is found in these kinds of food. The milk contains what? Proteins. What about the vegetables? Vitamins and minerals. The oats are cereals, so they contain carbohydrates. Good. We have here bread. The bread also contains carbohydrates. What about the fish? The fish is like the meat. It contains proteins. The pasta contains carbohydrates. Here we have fruits. The fruits also like vegetables. They contains vitamins and minerals. The eggs, as we said, the food coming from the animals contains what? Proteins. And finally the chicken also contains proteins. The last exercise, I want you to look at those pictures and choose the correct answer. The rice. Does the rice contain carbohydrates or proteins or fats? The rice contains which food group? Yes, carbohydrates. What about the butter? The butter is a kind of food that contains carbohydrates or fats or proteins. The butter contains fats. Okay, the pasta, we said the pasta is like the rice. It contains what? Is it minerals or proteins or carbohydrates? Carbohydrates, like the rice. So the rice, the pasta and the potatoes, they all contain carbohydrates. We have here meat. The meat and chicken, do you remember? It contains what? Proteins or fats or carbohydrates? Of course, proteins. Now we have a plate of salad made of different vegetables, and we said that the vegetables contain what? Proteins or vitamins or fats? Fruits and vegetables contains vitamins. The last one, bread, where the bread contains fats or carbohydrates or proteins? The bread is like the pasta and the rice. It contains carbohydrates. Okay? Now we finished primary 2. Thank you for listening. I hope you understood the lesson very well and